Rolling.
Rolling. We're making trampolines for a catamaran today. This one is two little trampolines, mirror images of each other. And to start out, we're going to create the hole, the place for the trampoline to go on the floor here. I've got some notes. I took measurements of not actually of this boat, but the sister ship of this boat. And they are 84 inches fore, 72 aft, 66 on one side and 65 on the other. And those are measurements that go the whole space from one tack to the other. And let's need a tape measure. The owner claimed that both fore and aft on the center line of the trampoline was a square corner, and I claim that according to his measurements that was impossible. Because it's 84, 66 on this side, so we're gonna, I know the front corner is square. 66. But the back corner, so I'm going this is going right down the center of one of my joists. You can see where the nails are. And that's between the joists and the floor, that's going to make square enough corner. And then the last one is 65 by 72. .72 inches. From here. Here. So that's the outside. As you can see, that's forward. This is the aft corner. So the aft corner is not square. That would be, if it's lined up with the floor, it would be square. He claimed it was square, and I think it actually is square. It's just curved. So this corner in here, it curves into there, and it curves back out like that. So we can do that with our bat in here. So that's where it would be straight, and I'm going to curve it out so that it starts out square and then ends up with this with a curve like that. So the first half of this is just going to be a square line lined up with the floor, and then it sort of eases into that corner. And the same thing happens on this side, as far as I can tell. So that is straight about part way, and then it sort of curves out a little bit. So that's more or less the shape of the hole that we're trying to put. And the owner also, Chili, stop! The owner also sent me dimensions, 57 and a half, 57, 80, and 70 and a half. So like I said, I had 84 by 65, and this was 66, and that's 72. So it's, he had, this side is a bolt rope. It actually slides into a track, and then all the other three sides are tied on with grommets. And there's like 4 to 5 inches of gap around these three sides, and of course this side is fixed. So went ahead and got one cut, and we're going to cut the other one. Just have to make sure that they're mirror images. This stuff, this is the mesh we use, and it's got little nubby things on this side, and this side's smooth, and this side is slippery. And if you put this side up and make it wet and walk around on it, you'll fall on your ass. And this side is grippy. So we need to make sure that we get it the right side up. And I think I have this one is porked. So we need to build the starboard one. And starboard, yeah, so that's the center of the boat. This is the starboard side. That's the front. So this is cut with the nubby side up. Front side, and we have 84 to the corner. And this is somewhat less than 84. Now he had 80 and a half, is it what you say? I believe. Where's my phone went? He had 80. So we had 4 inches of gap here on this edge. And then 0 gap on that edge. And I think he had 57. And we had 65. So that's 4 inches fore and aft also as well. We'll slide this over. Get 4 inches there. 4 inches here. That puts us right there. This one. Inches, and then on this side it's about there's like a ½ inch or something. We have to take into account the bolt loop. This here is going to be this line is straight. And 4 inches back. And last corner. Four inches there. 4 inches here. So that's our cut line, and since I already built one, we're just going to make sure it's the same. Oh, it's not built yet, but it is cut. So this one will be face down. A little bit bigger. So we'll go with that. I think I decided to push my measurements a little bit and make the gap a little bit tighter. So we're go about 3 inches instead of 4. Corner is not actually in its right place, it's right there. And now we get 2 in the same shape. Just hope it's right. This one takes for a while. You can tell it's square because it's going along just like that, and then you follow the line right there for about half of it, and then you start to curve. This one is just straight. Alright, you can cut these with scissors. But I'm horrible at sharpening scissors, and all my scissors are currently dull as dishwater. I can sharpen drill bits all day, but scissors are somehow beyond me. So, I'll just use this instead. The next thing we're going to do, I should say something about these are really small nets, obviously, and so we're making them out of just one piece. Oftentimes, usually, they're bigger than this, and you need to put 2 pieces of this material together. And in order to do that, I like to get it with, we're going to use heavy Tenara thread on most of this, well, on the structural parts. But in order to put these together, I like to do it 6 pieces overlapping. So that's 3, 6, and you do it just like this, and put it together with tape. They're not going to line up exactly. It's close. But anyway, so I tape it down, and then I make a straight stitch with heavy Tenara thread 6 times over. Because these things, once you put tension on them, we're gonna tie them all the way around with probably with Dyneema, and so when you put tension on that, and each of those grommets is going to have maybe 30 or 40 pounds of load on the string, and then you get 3 fat people jumping up and down on this thing. It's a huge amount of force you're putting on this. Or when you get a wave coming through it, when the bow buries itself in the ocean, and you get like 15 tons of water comes through this, there's a lot of force. So that's why we do six stripes of, and I believe that makes it as strong as the material itself.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you double the whole thing or only the sides?
This is only if we were making a panel that was bigger than the width of this material.
I got you. And
we'd have to seam it together, and that was what we would be doing. I usually do, because most of the trampolines are quite a bit larger. This is, I think, 72 inches wide or something. I don't remember. It's so 72, yeah. So it's 6 feet wide, and so most of the trampolines are like 8, 10 feet, 12, something like that. So you end up with multiple. A seam somewhere. Anyway.
Gotcha.
Plus the stuff costs like $60 a yard. So we try not to waste much, and if there's, oftentimes if it's an angle, I can take, cut an angle and then take part of it and sew it on to make the little corner piece so you don't waste, a foot. The next step is to put webbing all the way around it. You can use white webbing because one of the problems with working in Guatemala is that it takes a month for things to come down here when you order them, or sometimes more. And so apparently sometime in the last 5 weeks, 3 times in a row, I was freaking out because I was running out of white webbing. I think there's a little piece here somewhere. There it is. No, that's thicker. Anyway, there's a little piece somewhere that the dogs have been playing with, and it was totally filthy with mud. And it was all the 2-inch white webbing I had in the shop, so I bought some, and I bought some more, and I bought some more, and now we have, I think, 300 yards. Oh my God, 900 feet of white webbing. Anyway. So this is to give us even more structure around the edge. All the grommets are going to go through this material right in the middle. We're going to sew it with heavy Tenara inside and outside of this webbing, so the webbing is really, really well attached to the trampoline. Then the spur grommets go through it every 6 inches, I think. I have to look on the picture again. This is seatbelt webbing. It's like I think it's 8,000 pound test. As I said, when the catamaran buries its bow in an ocean, and this thing picks up, it'll be picking up literally tons of water. Hence, there's lots and lots of structure, lots of reinforcement, as much as we can put in here. And it's going to result in trampolines. I've seen this construction, not ones I've personally constructed, but I've seen these constructed this way, 15 years old, and excellent shape. Just needed to be restitched usually because Tenara wasn't around 15 years ago, so the old thread they used burnt out. Everything else was fine. So, to finish the edges, as you saw on that one, we're going to sew on, these things get, the webbing will get double-sided tape. You want to make sure to flip that over. Since our corners are not square, we put the double-sided adhesive tape there and then stick it down. But we don't really need to see that, it's self-explanatory. Then alrededor, around the outside, it gets Top Gun, I believe, and you could use any part material. It's similar to this. We just happen to, I picked Top Gun. It's got this color which looks nice, and it's got the top side and the bottom side. It's got 2 different sides anyway. I don't know which one the manufacturer intended to be which, but we put the the shiny side out. So yesterday, usually I would cross cut my roll, and I want 4-inch wide coverage, so it's 8-inch tape is what we're making basically. And so generally speaking, I would cross cut the roll into 8-inch wide strips and then seam them together like that. But since this is the only thing I use Top Gun for, I bought 7 yards, so we just cut them into 21-foot long strips with the chalk line, your favorite tool ever. And yeah, and now we've got trampoline tape for the next, I don't know, half a dozen. With the double-sided tape, we're going to put on, then we're going to fold it, and so we can get a mark at the center. And then stick it on. This is actually after this is adhered, obviously. These get adhered with two strip of tape on each side. Just set them down, stick them. Super easy, quick. This part, when you go around the corners, is actually the most difficult part of this entire process. There must be a better way, but I have yet to figure it out. So basically you have to bring this piece around the corner tight, and you want this corner to bisect that, so the corners line up here and here, and it's a freaking pain to do. Down the end, just finished this one this morning, and this is the bottom, so we're going to sew it on the top side, because if someone's paddling around underneath the boat and doesn't like the way that these panels look, well, tough, we don't care. So basically, that's what we want to have. And there's really no substitute for just doing it. Well, when you get here to the corner and you're sewing it, then you have to sort of just mess around and get those two pieces lined up, top and bottom, pretty much the same. Get that corner lined up to this corner, get these tight on the edge, all that. So let's get going on that. Test runs, check that good section first.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah? All right. Off we go then. Now I'm going to do the outside edge first. Just to make sure this is nice and tight.
Jesus.
Why is it skipping? Is it just because it's Tenara and it's a pain in the ass, or what? No, there's something wrong with it. It was doing so well for about 10 seconds, wasn't it? No. Not so good. That's right. Oh, it's because the fucking... This is on the wrong place.
Oh no.
Okay. The webbing's... Oh no, because it's not tight to the side, that's the problem. Because this part is thinner than that, so this is like webbing and tramp material, and this is just two tiny pieces. That's the corner. That's the problem. That's why we're doing the outside first, to make sure that this edge is actually tight. These are, like I said, really painful going around the corner. Time for a new camera.
Time for a new camera. Yeah.
On the next one, I'm going to do it differently. Because so when we got to the first corner, I was off the edge as I approached the corner. So that actually means that this entire side was too far that way, a quarter inch. So I had to unstick the entire side. I'm going to have to unstick the entire thing as I go along to make it the right length again. This is, as you can see now, the corner is like 3/4 of an inch off. You see that from the fold?
Yeah.
So the next time I go do this, I'm not going to adhere it. I'm just going to do it. This is the way we put on tape on sales. This is just hold it tight, sew it. Sales, you don't generally go around corners, and it's not 8 inches wide, so it's a little different, but I think it'll be easier to sew it first all the way around the outside edge, and then put the adhesive on to find out where it leads. all the way into the corner, I think. And then stop. Tenara. It's just incredibly difficult to sew with it. Loves, absolutely loves to skip stitches everywhere. Just the fact that sometimes it's going through the material and sometimes it's going through a hole is enough to make it skip stitches. Super annoying. But there is no alternative. It's the only thing that will last more than 3 years in the tropical sun. That I'm aware of, at least. Totally boring. Other way around. So after get this one ready for grommets, and then we can try sewing that one without the adhesive. You know, we try putting this on and see if it works better without.
Yeah.
And then stick it afterwards.
You want to switch to the other one?
No, I need an hour.
Yeah.
An hour, and then we'll get them and start it over again.
Perfect.
Yeah? Okay. And Lorena can make noise because she's getting...
Are you frustrated?
Huh?
Are you frustrated?
No, this is normal. I have it all the time.
Looks really frustrating.
It's good learning.
Alright. See you in an hour.
Okay.
Here we go. So where were we?
I'm sewing up the second one, the starboard side. Did a couple things differently. I didn't stick it on before I started sewing, and it was definitely a lot easier coming around the corners. I got one more corner to come around yet. And then the other thing I did was this thread, for some reason, and it's made out of Teflon. You think super slippery, right? But it's some reason it skips a lot when there's tape, when it's sewing through tape, the adhesive tape, the double-sided tape. So I put on this edge, I put the adhesive tape on both sides of the webbing, and on these other 3 edges I put it in the center of the webbing where I'm not actually stitching anything. And the verdict is resoundingly, probably it's better. So you can see, skip there, skip there, skip there, skip there, skip, skip. Not horrible, there's another one. Whereas this one here, this is the side, so that's going through no adhesive, just the webbing. And this is going through the adhesive. I skip, 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 skip. I think it's worse where it goes to the adhesive. It's not hugely different. Hey Dennis! But I think it's worse. Okay. Well, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna. I probably will open up the adhesive tape for the final stitch around. This trampoline, strangely enough, has a bolt rope stuff. It's called Ketter Welt or something. It's a super strong bolt rope thing, and you can just put it on, whoops, on the bottom side. And up there. You probably could put it on with the initial stitching on this edge, but it's hard enough as it is without having this thing in the way. So anyway, you just stick that on, cut it off flush the other end with a hot knife, and stitch it on with a heavy gauge thread. Then we go to grommets after it's stitched several more times around. I'm gonna put my tape measure. I thought I had it. Okay, so the grommets, different boats have different ways of connecting. This one has stainless steel slides and stainless steel tracks on 3 sides. So the spacing, you just want to have it even. Some have like a fixed place, and so you have to get the spacing right, or else your string will look funny. But this one, we just did. I made a mark in the center of each end, so we got a grommet in the center of each one, and measured across. We got 78 inches, and I counted the number of grommets on the old the photograph from the old trampoline. They're 21, so that gives me 20 spaces. So I divided 78 inches by 20, and you come up with 3 7/8 inches. So that's why I marked every 3 7/8 inches on this side to get my 21 grommets. And then I just from there I went to the other sides. This one from the center of that to the center of here was 68 inches, which is evenly divisible by 4, luckily. So we just marked every 4 inches, you know, all the way down, 4, 4, 4, 4. And that side as well was evenly divisible by 4 inches. So I just made the spacing at 4 inches instead of 3 7/8, which is way more straightforward.
We're back.
Give Mike 75 out of the. So all of these materials I sourced at Sailrite. This is the super heavy duty trampoline mesh fabric. This is Top Gun. This, I'd have to look it up. I think it's, well anyway, it's the only bolt rope they sell. It's got it's like Kevlar or something in it. Weave. Stainless steel number 2 spur grommets. Sailrite's the only place I know of that sells those. I also bought a cone of thread from them. I usually don't because Challenge is cheaper, but the shipping didn't make any sense to buy it from Challenge, so I got all that's from Sailrite this time. And I also bought that seatbelt webbing from them, which is, the white is pretty cheap. All the colors they have are outrageously expensive. I have no idea why. But let's just bang out the last grommets. we'll see how it looks complete, right? I think it's done.
Yeah, it looks done.
Well, I left Chattanooga, boy, had a dollar and a dime. Headed out to Nashville on the Hard Rock Line.